Trying to get fly on me. You know what I'm talking about? Dig it. Rainy days and sunny days will never change until you get the heart to come and help me chase this rain away. A nigga's riding to get it, and you should be adding to it. Baby girl, you got to do it. That's the only way to sunny days. In your eyes, I see a million starlights. Queen for a king, help me represent the tall right. Hold me down, never leave a nigga for dead. You appreciated the nights that block got bled. Late night massages after the studio. Wordplay as we lay, don't miss murder. I go always and forever. I thought it would get nothing but better. But shit, here comes stormy weather. First rain cloud, you cracked under the pressure when you should have asked me. You tripped and second guessed your boy. Baby, don't you wake up to me. But now you falsely accusing breaking up with me. You know these shady bitches, they just messing with your head, trying to give me some head or get me in their bed. I thought me and you had a thing that moved quick, but you couldn't stand the rain. You still living around the shit. Rainy days and sunny days will never change until you get the heart to come and help me chase this rain away. A nigga's running, you get it, and you should be adding to it. Baby girl, you got to do it. That's the only way to sunny days.
She don't need him, she done hurt.
All right. I don't even know where to begin this at. I ain't been on in 2-3 days. You know, as you can see from the new growth, I got on top of this little head of mine. So, you know, I've been looking around, you know. I guess first things first is we talk about this old Canelo Triple G thing. I think it's a bunch of BS, and now they're finding out it's a bunch of BS to have and Canelo versus Triple G fight again. You know, of course, Eddie Hearn said that the zone was looking at Danny Jacobs and Triple G for Canelo in 2019. But will that be enough to get the ratings up for the zone? You know, which I don't think that'd be enough. Danny Jacobs is an American, but I don't think that'd be enough to get their ratings up for Canelo. I think Canelo will need a more known, a little bit better opponent than Danny Jacobs. Not as far as strengths and weaknesses, not as far as records is concerned, just as far as grit. Because, you know, Mexican versus a black guy type of thing that's been going on for a very long time, and I didn't create it. I don't know who created it, but maybe if Canelo can get a Spencer or a Crawford, that'd be better. Instead of trying to go out here and doing all these this belt chasing. Then we got Big Baby Miller as well. Talking about how can you not like the zone? Easy. Poor service. Ain't giving you the fights, ain't giving us the fights that we want to see. And that's flat out period. I don't know how you want to put it. Yeah, the zone is good for watching boxing. The zone is good for you know, boxing in general, but the zone won't be giving anyone the fights that they want to see. Maybe onesies and twosies, but as far as the people that's are around, as far as with the, you know, that's majority, heavy PBC. So that could go on and yeah. Then we also got Adrian Broner out there. Adrian Broner talking about maybe not maybe said that beating Manny Pacquiao will make him an icon. I don't think so. I think beating Manny Pacquiao will put him over the hump, that the slump that he is in, but make him an icon, I don't think so. Pacquiao is like 40 something years old. He got a couple L's. Yes, he has fought in people, but he didn't beat Mayweather. He didn't beat I'm not even gonna say that dude's name because that was horrible. He did beat him, but as far as box race is concerned, he lost that fight. Adrian Broner also goes on to say that after he beats Manny Pacquiao, he's gonna he's gonna take over boxing. I don't think so. I think there's a lot of things that Adrian Broner has to do, and one of those would be, which is you know, the whole public perception about him, as being Adrian Broner, the fugitive, or Adrian Broner, the sexual assaulter, or whatever the case may be. He has a lot to overcome as far as public perception before he can start being even taking over boxing, because that will always be over the black eye on him until he can get over that. Then what else we got? Stephen Espinoza said something about let's Eddie and Oscar know the difference between yeah. So Eddie and Oscar over there talking about pay-per-view is dead and all that stuff. Espinoza basically said that, hey man, there's fights that we can do pay-per-view for, and there's fights that we can't do pay-per-view for. He goes on to say, when was the last pay-per-views they had and stuff like that in the last 3 years. Floyd Mayweather, and Conor McGregor. And then he goes on to say that, hey man, look, y'all know the difference between a regular steak and a filet, and do y'all know the difference between ground beef and a filet mignon? And basically that's referencing that he's basically saying that you have those superstar fights that that are premium fights, that's the place for them to be on, because they're premium fights, and that makes sense. As far as Eddie Hearn talking, we got free fights out here, Fox and a couple of spots out here. But other than that, we got subscription-based fights, Showtime, ESPN, and et cetera, that we actually pay $10-15 or whatever, how much a month to watch these fights. And just like in the UK, Sky Sports, and what's up, Laws? Sky Sports, Frank Warren, you paying a subscription for those. So just like we do out here, but some of these big fights out here, we only paying $10 to $15 just to see them. So for the premium fights, yeah, of course we got to pay for $75 for. So that's the difference between ground beef and filet mignon. Then we got the whole Ortiz versus Usyk thing. What's up? What's that, Fat Ninja Flip? I really don't care about the about Ortiz fighting Usyk. I don't think it would happen. No matter who agrees to what. Just off the strength of that, it would be it's not a good return on investment for Usyk and the people that surround him, as far as Eddie Hearn and this promoter, because the simple fact is, if Usyk loses against Ortiz, then that will fuck up a lot of the game, just off the simple fact that there's money to be had for Usyk in the heavyweight division, and Usyk fighting Ortiz is not a good look, because I don't see Usyk winning. I see a lot of people out there that's not even part of the LDBC, don't have Usyk winning that fight. Look at Usyk's last fight. He that Bilou, whatever you want to call the guy. Yeah, Fat Ninja, I'm gonna get to you in 1 second, homie. It didn't look good on both sides. Usyk was getting hit, but Usyk was landing the most punches, the most meaningful punches in the fight. But nah, it's not a good return on investment. You got to, there's a difference between sparring and there's a difference between fighting in the ring, and that's something. Yeah, Usyk or Fat Ninja Flip said fights don't be costing the arm and the leg. Laugh out sometimes the head. Yeah, but sometimes you just gotta take it. You gotta take it as you go. You know what I'm saying? It's a Tyson Fury. versus Deontay Wilder, or Deontay Wilder versus Tyson Fury, that's an El Premium fight. You know what I'm saying? And I don't mind paying $75 off of it, because I don't have to pay. I don't have to pay $10 a month for every single fight. I could pay $10 a month for the fights I do want to see. And just like out there in the UK, you know what I'm saying? So at the end of the day, I may spend, $100 or something a year. So that's not a big deal. Lost Dawkins P said Boxing Square just done a video. Ortiz is saying he's not had any contract about Usyk. Yeah, yeah, that's already been known. That's already been known. It's just all that, and that's the thing. People want to put out. I hate to say it, but breaking news is not always breaking news. You know what I'm saying? And that was the one thing that you never saw with the whole a couple people out there saying that it was breaking news. We never heard actual Ortiz coming out saying that or anything about a contract with Usyk. Like we didn't hear anything. The only thing we did hear is that it's breaking news that the fight is on its way. But the fight is never on its way until both fighters have signed this contract. And the first indicator of that would be declining somebody declining on the contract or something like that. But I didn't think a contract was floating around there with that. I didn't think it was, because I thought it'd be stupid. I thought it'd be like, that's a suicide fight. You know what I'm saying? You might as well call him Usyk the kamikaze. Give me 1 second, I'm trying to take off my shoes because I've been at work all day, so I'm trying to take off these boots. Yeah, you might as well call him Usyk kamikaze, because that's basically what he'd be doing. I mean, but there's nothing saying you can't come back from an L. You know what I'm saying? Like, you can't come back and be great after an L. But the whole thing about it is that, he's supposed to be he's not supposed to be, he is. Yeah, Fat Ninja Facts, and they fought hard. The thing about it is, damn, I forgot what I was going to say, because that's all I don't like reading the comments sometimes. I'll be forgetting what I'm about to say. Yeah, but Usyk versus Ortiz is like, remember, I don't know. Oh yeah, well, I can't say remember because Fat Ninja Flip wasn't here, but it's like Eddie Hearn likes to map people out. He likes to map them out by like 2-3 fights. And so if he's mapping out people by like 2-3 fights, you got to think about where Usyk's going to be at. You know what I'm saying? So Usyk, and where his other fighters is at. So if you think about it, this is how I was thinking about it. AJ fights Miller. White fights God who knows, right? AJ comes back after that Miller fight, fights White. That's enough time for Usyk to have 2 fights. Tries to go into negotiations with Tyson Fury or Wilder. Don't make that fight, ends up fighting Usyk. You see what I'm saying? And so that gives the zone 3 fights. That gives Wembley 2 fights. You see what I'm saying? That gives the zone 1 fight in America. You know what I'm saying? During American showtime, primetime hours, right? And at the same time that gives Wembley 2 fights. Supposedly sold out, because that's what Eddie Hearn is going to be counting on. That's what he thinks. He thinks that if AJ is going to be at Wembley, it's going to sell out. And especially if Usyk does two heavyweight fights, beats his fighters in stylistic fashion, and then he pumps everybody's head up with all these big words and these explosive words, meaningful words, and you know what I'm saying, and gets people and put asses in seats. Hey, you can say whatever you want, but that's what I was thinking. Yes, Ortiz would beat him up bad. Yeah, Lost Dawkins, it will be nasty. Lost Dawkins said Eddie Hearn has come out and said he's talking with Big Fat Dust. Man, Eddie Hearn talking to everybody. Eddie Hearn, this is the reason why Eddie Hearn talking to everybody. Eddie Hearn talking to everybody because he's shopping around. Eddie Hearn is going to sit out there and opening up old ass shit. Opening up old ass shit. Eddie Hearn talking about on IFL TV, talking about what do you say? Oh, if Deontay Wilder's talking about one face, one name, well, how come he won't take the fight then? How come if Deontay Wilder wanted to fight, how come Deontay Wilder is going to offer $50 million with no contract? And then that fat fuck Kusius catches like, yeah, that's right, Eddie. Yeah, I mean, that's right, Edward. That's right, Edward. Yeah, because he calling him Edward. Act like I didn't notice that. So I'm listening to this shit, right? And I'm like, everybody, the thing about it is that how you gonna bring up stuff and ask Eddie questions, and y'all create dialogue amongst each other's, the interview and the interviewee creates dialogue amongst each other's, but never bring up things like, why didn't the person give you a contract? Why y'all didn't talk about that? Why you didn't talk about why don't Deontay Wilder wants to negotiate with you right now? When you're saying, oh, I sent Shelly 3 emails and I think they're going to a spam and blah, 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 blah. The reason why you don't do that is because you want to create the narrative that Deontay Wilder is avoiding you. You don't want to create the narrative that Deontay Wilder has a legit reason on why he does not want to talk to you. You see what I'm saying? Lost Dawkins P said, I hear today that Eddie has partied with StubHub, his main ticket seller. Yeah. He probably did. He probably is. And you know what? He can get away with it over there. He can't get away with that over here because motherfuckers will be on his ass quick, fast, in a hurry. And then there's subpoenas, emails, there's subpoenas, his phone records and everything. And they get to the bottom line of them ticket scalping. Over here, they don't play. Over here, they don't play. They start sweating people that you wouldn't even think that need to be sweating, and then guess what? Most of the time when people open up cases on big people like Eddie Hearn, when they have things like with speculation with StubHub, they end up getting you for some other shit. Because when they start sweating people, when they start opening up them books, people start to run, they squealing like pigs. People start singing like canaries and start saying shit that ain't got nothing to do with scalping. They start, oh, Eddie did this. Eddie did this. I don't know why you asking me. Oh, leave me alone. They start doing that quick. Man, pull their pants down. We were like, whatever I got to do to get out of this, I do it. Yeah, Edward. That's what he called him, Edward. Yeah, and back to Eddie Hearn and the curious case of making up shit. You know what I'm saying? We all know the reason why Deontay Wilder doesn't want to fight AJ right now. And for one, I believe it's yeah. This is my reasoning why. I'm not gonna say I know why the reason why Deontay Wilder doesn't want to fight Anthony Joshua right now or deal with Matchroom Boxing employees, but I will say this. In my opinion, the first things first is that the shit that he put Deontay Wilder through, the way he dragged Deontay Wilder's name through the mud, acting like he didn't want to make the contract when it was Eddie Hearn, in fact, making the contract, making everything difficult. You know what I'm saying? Not even giving a fair contract. Talking about, I give you $20 million to fight fucking bitch ass Dillian White, and then going and then possibly fight Anthony Joshua whenever he fucking feels like it, because that fight wasn't going to happen right after that. You see what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? So I don't want to hear that shit, and nobody wants to hear that shit. Oh, I give you 20 mil to do this. No, motherfucker, you're not gonna give me 20 mil to fight 2 of your fucking fighters. A flat fee of 20 fucking mil. When it could make way more than that. If Deontay Wilder fought Dillian White in Wembley, I guarantee you, Dillian. I guarantee you. I guarantee you. I guarantee you. They both can run out of there with 10, 15 mil, and that's one fight. I guarantee you. If they fought at Wembley, I guarantee you that fight is sell out. Guarantee you. If Dillian White and Deontay Wilder fought at Wembley, it'll sell out. And if it won't, it wouldn't make sense. It wouldn't make fucking absolute sense if Dillian White can already do pay-per-view. And everybody know Dillian White and who Deontay Wilder is. Come on now. And then the whole thing about that 50 million. Everybody know what to do with that 50 million was. Shelly Finkel said, it's either a yes or no. You either say you agree to the 50 mil or we ain't doing it or nothing. And that's when all the lies came out was, well, you know, him saying yes to this verbal saying yes to this verbal agreement was attestation of, and he could have been liable. You know, it would have sealed him into the contract. No. And that's already been debunked by actual lawyer. You know, and he goes by the name of Fanon International Boxing. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, all this bullshit that Eddie Hearn bringing up, that's all it is. That's all they do. Laws Dawkins said he got to fill Wembley Day, April 13th. He can't afford to lose that. It will be interesting to see who he puts on the date. If AJ fights Miller in New York, it'd be interesting to see who he puts in there. Yeah, it'd be interesting, but Usyk gonna be there, but I think Usyk could be there, but he won't be a headliner. And then he'll get a couple of other, you know, well-known Brits up in there. Of course, Dillian White up in there. You know what I'm saying? That's what he would have to do. It would have to be a superstar motherfucking day, because it would have to be a superstar event. It had to be like one of them things like if you ain't got no choice but to go and see it. You know what I'm saying? It has to be one of them things. And I think that's the reason why Eddie Hearn is kind of upset at Khan. You know what I'm saying? Because if he can't change nobody's mind, and for the April 13th date, that's going to be fucked up. You know what I'm saying? It has to be a superstar day. Dillian White got to be there. Usyk got to be there. Everybody under the Matchroom Boxing name that's worth a damn gotta be there. And there might be a lot of cherry pick fights, but you know what I'm saying? Because of, you know, if you putting all them names on there and the amount of money that has to float around, that has to be divvied out for each fight purse, I mean, he's gonna have to break even. I mean, it's gonna have to be one of them things that he's gonna have to create something to show face. You know what I'm saying? And then the whole thing, and the same thing with, so you got to think about, though, now all of a sudden, Ortiz's name is being thrown around there like a $2 goddamn hoe. Ortiz versus Usyk. Ortiz versus Joe Joyce. Like, come on, bruh. Like, come on. Like, we all know y'all don't want none. We all know if y'all wanted some, all y'all had to do was send a contract. You know what I'm saying? We all know that from our, as far as we can see and as far as we can tell, Ortiz ain't asking for much. Yeah, Laws D definitely a sellout. Ortiz ain't asking for too much. Like, how come you can't make it? How come Dillian White, like even that April 13th Wembley date, Dillian White could be like, okay, Ortiz, hey man, I got this going on up in here in April, man. What's happening? Or, hey, what's up, Larry? Sit down. I don't know. That'd be a good fight. Ortiz versus AJ. That'd be a good fight. It'd be close. It'd be a good fight. It'd be a good one. I don't think it'd be. I don't think that's an up and shut closed case. It'd be a good fight, but AJ better watch out, because that old man got a lot of wisdom underneath his belt. You know what I'm saying? He got a lot of wisdom underneath his belt. Yeah, man. Yeah, Ortiz, man, like name being thrown out there, man, like a $2 hole, man. Like, you know, every now everybody wants a piece of them, but we don't hear no contracts. And then at the end of the day, we don't hear nothing about no offers or nothing like that. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, it is what it is with that bullshit. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, and then you know the main thing what I wanted to talk about was the IFL TV interview with Eddie Hearn. Eddie Hearn out there talking about he'll be living in everybody's head rent free coming in 2019. Nah, and I'm like, yeah, okay, homie, you're gonna be living on YouTube for free because you ain't living in nobody's head. The only thing you're gonna be doing, well, it won't be free because you'll be getting paid through AdSense, or it won't. You won't be living on YouTube for free because you actually pay. I actually believe you pay people to go out there and do a lot of your interviews. You know what I'm saying? So you can say whatever you want to. You know what I'm saying? Edwin, you know what I'm saying? You can say whatever you want to, but I don't. You know, you're not doing nothing. Like, what are you going to? What is poor little old Edwin is going to say to anybody that's going to make them change their minds about the real reason why AJ and Wilder is not happening? That's because right after the fight, Deontay Wilder said, "I want to run that back." That's the real reason why. Now the second real reason why, it was a fucking draw. Why wouldn't you want to run it back? Now the third reason why is because your bitch ass was going around there talking all that tough shit, loud talking and everything, acting like you the big swinging dick on campus, and now look at you. Now you stuck out in the rain talking about some I can't stand the rain, but fucking guess what? It seems like Deontay Wilder and Tyson Fury is like, I'm living my best life, and I ain't going back and forth with you, Eddie. That's what they singing. I'm living my best life, and I ain't going back and forth with you, Eddie. That's what they singing. They ain't going back and forth with you, bitch. They ain't. They done. Like when they feel like making a fight with you, answering your punk ass emails, getting those emails out of archive from spam, out of their Gmail or whatever, or their ALL account, or whatever they got, when they feel like answering it, that's what they'll fucking do. But for right now, we're getting ready to see the second biggest heavyweight fight in the last 10 motherfucking years. And guess what? It's not starring Anthony Joshua. It's starring Deontay Wilder versus Tyson Fury. And guess what? It's all your fault, Eddie. It's all your fucking fault, because if you was busy, if you would have been on your fucking A game, if you would have did whatever you had to do, going out there talking about you're desperate and all this stuff to make the fight, if you really was about it, if you really thought your man would win, if you really said that Anthony Joshua really wants the goddamn fight, well, how come you couldn't give goddamn Deontay Wilder and Tyson Fury what they wanted? How come you couldn't even get close? How come the first time you tried to make the offer, it was some bullshit? You know what I'm saying? The first time you tried to make the offer, you didn't even offer Deontay Wilder, Anthony Joshua. You went all the way to New York to talk about who? Dillian motherfucking White. And guess what? It's fucking documented. You went all the way to motherfucking New York. All the way to New York. Just to talk about fucking Dillian White. You didn't go over there to talk about that. Remember that first negotiation? Anthony Joshua wasn't even talked about. Laws D said, Mike, I think Frank Warren might make a move for Dillian White to sign, and man, somebody better grab him, man. Somebody better grab him. Like, look, like, check it. Dillian White is better to me. I think. Okay. Dillian White to get Derek Chisora. I mean, we'll get Gerald Washington. He'll beat him, right? Gerald Washington's still making money. I think Dillian White will beat Adam Konecki. Adam Konecki getting money. So if you take everybody below Ortiz, and you say, and you go and think and say, okay, I think Dillian White beat this dude, this guy, and look how many of the motherfuckers out there getting money. Dillian White gonna bring you money in there in the UK, so I don't even know why you Why you? I grab him. He'll give you money. You know what I'm saying? Obviously, he generate more than 5 mil. Supposedly, it seemed like he generates around maybe 10 mil, maybe around, I say around 5 to 10, between 5 and 10 mil. I think that's what Dillian White generates, like overall. I'm not talking about the fight purse, but overall, I think it generates between 5 and 10 million. What Joe Joyce bringing? What Daniel bringing? You see what I'm saying? And the list goes on and on. So if Eddie Hearn don't want to do right by Dillian White needs to bounce. Dillian White needs to go on out there. Dillian White needs to go on out there and bounce. Yeah, Boston Square just did another thing talking about Vladimir Klitschko denies Dillian White talk. See? Like I've been trying to tell folks, man, there ain't no need to sit up over here and talk about some of these things until you hear from these cats, man. All this, because that's the thing about boxing, man. You got to always check your source, because some of these guys out here be bullshit. Like you got what was that? What was the people called Steve Bunce out there with Castillo and Steve Bunce with their little talks. They're up there. Steve Bunce was always talking about, yeah, well, it looks like Klitschko's coming back to fight some big name UK fighter. Who? Usyk? That won't even be good, man. But he said heavyweight. Usyk ain't no big heavyweight yet, in my opinion, because he ain't fought nobody in the heavyweight division. But like I've been saying, it won't be good. Like you got to like do you want to if you look at history, if you look at the whole history of boxing, and you look at the people that went up, that went from cruiserweight to heavyweight, or that went up from one division to the next, or went up 2 divisions. History will show you that sometimes it has not always been a good idea for some people to just go out there balls deep without no tune-ups. You see what I'm saying? Because then what people are going to do is when history is written and said and done, people are like, well, you know what? If Usyk would have done this, if Usyk would have done that, he would have been better off instead of going out there balls deep and getting his ass whooped. You see what I'm saying? Because some people would say, well, Usyk is ballsy for doing that. No, that's not ballsy. That's not ballsy. That's retarded. That's retarded. Because you're not first of all, I hate to say it, I hate to be like this, but first of all, you haven't made that much money off of boxing yet. You see what I'm saying? You should have been up here, Usyk. You should have been up here. You should have been getting those $10, $15 million paydays at cruiserweight. You see what I'm saying? You should have been had those. You see what I'm saying? But now you got to play catch up. You got to play catch up now. And I think that's the real reason why he came to heavyweight. I don't think he came to heavyweight to just be in heavyweight, to become undisputed at heavyweight, or because he think he could compete at heavyweight, maybe become a world champion at heavyweight. I think he really did it because he didn't see himself making money at cruiserweight. He didn't see it. He didn't see it. Who was he going to fight? Who was he going to fight at the time? That was going to make him the money. I mean, he tried the Tony Bellew thing, but nobody really. But the thing about that was, the Tony Bellew thing was that nobody really respected Tony Bellew, or Bellew, whatever you want to call him. Nobody really respected his wins over David Haye, because real boxing fans know David Haye was severely hurt halfway through the first fight. Coming into the second fight, everybody knew David Haye David Haye's Achilles was gone, and you could tell the way he was moving around the ring. He couldn't put his weight into punches. He couldn't even move. Like, he was slow as fuck, like on his feet. Anybody can see that. But then you got these promoters out here that won't even talk about that. They just sweep that under the rug like, oh, he was ready. Oh, he was ready. But wanted to give but didn't want to give Tyson Fury the shadow of the doubt. You see what I'm saying? They gave Tony Bellew, I mean, they gave David Haye the benefit of the doubt. And everybody know how the Achilles go. If it goes, you're either done or you're coming back, but you're not fully back. You know what I'm saying? You lost a step. And then with the bicep, and then the other surgeries he had, and then having to postpone the fight because he was hurt after the surgery, after the Achilles surgery. Come on, bro. But you couldn't even give, and you still gave him the benefit of the doubt. But you couldn't give Tyson Fury the benefit of the doubt when he went up there and fought Deontay Wilder. Laws D said, yeah, he got $5 million for fighting Derek Chisora. And in my eyes, that wasn't even a pay-per-view fight. Nah, it wasn't. It wasn't a pay-per-view fight. It wasn't a pay-per-view fight. Nah, especially not over here. If motherfuckers would have saw that shit for $75, motherfuckers would have laughed. They would have been like, where the stream at? Where the stream at? Can I watch that on Cody? What is that on VIP box? ATDHE? You know what I'm saying? So yeah, Eddie Hearn, man, need to cut it out, man. All this jibber jabber, all this loud talking and stuff like that. What is he saying? Yeah, another thing I got was, man, Eddie Hearn was at first he started to cuss on IFL TV. I think it was like 3-4 minutes into it. I think it was like 3 or 4 minutes into it, and then he was like, he's like, oh man, I apologize for throwing the MFs out there because somebody told me, you know what I'm saying, to I don't need to be doing all the cussing and stuff like that. So you mean to tell me, Eddie Hearn, let me tell you something. The person who told him that he don't need to be doing all that cussing and shit like that, the person who emailed him and said that shit does not affect his money. Does not affect how much money he gets. Does not affect anything that happens in this fucking life. Don't affect a goddamn thing. But I'm gonna tell you this: calling Shelly Winkle affects your fucking pockets. You see what I'm saying? Because that's part of the reason why you ain't getting no emails back. That's part of the reason why, because you even laughed it off. You even laughed it off like it wasn't like, oh, Shelly Winkle. Oh, see, look, I can't even say it. Can't even say his name right. You have no respect for this dude. You see what I'm saying? This dude works. This dude works for Deontay Wilder. Deontay Wilder got love for this dude, in my opinion. As far as I know, Deontay Wilder got love for this dude, and and he's supposed to be the medium. He's supposed to be the medium between you and Deontay Wilder, and he is employee, and you're dogging him in the media. Dude ain't never said nothing bad about you. Well, about your name. He never called you out of your name. Ain't never said nothing bad about you. And you're going to go and fix your motherfucking lips. A dude that has made countless fucking fights. Who have helped Matchroom Boxing out to make fights. What you're going to do is make fun of this guy's name. A dude that probably don't even have fucking, that don't know you to have respect for you like that. Vice versa. That you should be trying to create rapport with. You should be trying to get to know him, because technically Eddie Hearn or Edwin Hearn, that should be your counterpart. When you want to make fights, when you have ideas, when you have questions about, the U.S. market, that could have been the guy you went to. But now look who you're going to. You're going to Oscar De La Hoya and Uncle Ben's Hopkins. You're going to Oscar De La Hoya. I'm sorry, Oscar Golden Utensils Hoya. And you're going to Uncle Ben's Rice Hopkins for advice. So you mean to tell me that you're going to a cokehead, allegedly a cokehead, to get advice from. And then you're going to somebody that don't know the difference on videotape, whether or not, what's the difference between getting pushed out of the ring and knocked out of the motherfucking ring? You're going to two people that don't know how to run their own fucking business. That's like me. That's like me going to go ask somebody that never been married, never been in a relationship before, never been in a serious relationship before, how to fucking raise, don't got no kids, how to raise a family, how to grow a family, how to get your family right. Family advice. It's a fucking joke. The dude, y'all motherfuckers out there think boxing is a motherfucking game. What some of these cats need to do is take Eddie Hearn, take the way Eddie Hearn does business and boxing, and try to relate that to the way people treat you and the way people do you in your life. Say they're gonna be somewhere, say they're gonna do something and never show up or never do it. Eddie Hearn. You see what I'm saying? Saying they're gonna pay you and never show up with the contract. That's Eddie Hearn. You know what I'm saying? That's what he do. That's what he do. You know what I'm saying? Going out there, lying to a bitch on how big your dick is. How long can you last in the bedroom when you only got 2 inches and you can't last 3 fucking pumps? That's Eddie Hearn. I'm gonna call them back. That's Eddie Hearn, homie. So, hey, y'all, give me 1 second. Let me take this call. Yeah, y'all still there? Yeah, man, but that's why I don't have no faith in this dude, man. Hey, but I gotta get up off here, man, because I gotta go handle some business. So I'll talk to y'all later, man. Peace.